typically here, like, I would say there's two kind of sections I usually see. One can tend to be more programming questions. The other tends to be more data science specific questions. So, and like conceptual. So some questions I've kind of come across are like that you'll kind of get asked are things like, can you tell me the difference between like precision and recall? Or something along that nature, where it's a little more just trying to test your statistical understanding, like, what's the difference between, what's a p-value? So there's more conceptual questions and that are really common because they're really good just to kind of get a gauge of, do you understand the concept of data science? Do you understand kind of the ability or how to set up an experiment and what you're looking for in an experiment? Because in many ways, again, with Python and R, it's really easy to run data and not know why you're running data and not really know what results you're looking for. And so I think one of the questions you'll see, or the section of questions you'll see, is understanding results and understanding what those results mean. And so I think that's one kind of really common section of questions. So things like precision, recall, p-value, and being able to explain those are really common kind of things that interviewers want to see. Another thing I think is you'll also see is something that I've seen is probabilistic questions. So they'll ask things about dice or something like that, where again, it's more trying to get your understanding of statistics and trying to see, do you understand and can you kind of formulate how you'd set up a basic experiment from a statistical side, and like, can you calculate out basic probabilities without having to kind of sit there and use your computer? So I think that's another section. And then finally, and I only put this in here because I've had people that I've kind of helped and coached come back to me and tell me that this has happened to them, in the sense that they've had companies like Microsoft ask them very specific programming questions where it's like, do something like with a B tree, like, traverse a binary tree or traverse a linked list, which I think is less common, but occasionally does happen. So I like to tell people, like, know where you're going to go, know what they're going to ask, because, the last thing you want to do is suddenly start getting programming questions. Those are and not be ready for them, because those can definitely throw people who are more data science background for a loop, because you probably, most data scientists might not know anything about programming from that standpoint, algorithms like merge, sort, or something like that, and getting that thrown in suddenly kind of can throw you for a loop. And that just, again, depends on the company to company. So I just tell people, make sure what type of questions you're going to get asked, whether it's going to be programming. If it's Python, figure out what type of Python questions. Is it going to be more operational? Is it going to be more, pandas related? Figure out where you're going to get questioned, because again, these might be the common questions, but it really depends company to company what they like to ask and what they like to see from their data scientists.
Wonderful.